All right. Boom, we are live. It is a great day in South Florida, and I'm super fired up to make these videos today. Today we are going to showcase some areas that exist in Pompano Beach, as well as Lighthouse Point, and then make our way into Boca Raton. And I have yet to determine how I'm going to edit this video, so it is altogether possible that I will truncate it by creating separate videos from this big video that I'm shooting right now, because it's going to be very lengthy. It's also going to be incredibly valuable, so if you want to see exactly what it's like to live here in South Florida, in these coastal communities that we're going to highlight today of Pompano Beach, of Lighthouse Point, of Boca Raton, then absolutely stick around till the end, because we're going deep, and I may even veer into Imperial Point a little bit in Fort Lauderdale to showcase the community that I grew up in, which I think will be great content too. So we're going to point out local hotspots, different communities that exist, and it's going to be awesome. Now you'll notice it's actually today's a look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. No, it's not. There's no patch of snow on the ground. This is South Florida, man. We don't have any patches of snow on the ground, but it is a hazy shade of winter. So it's 74 degrees. It didn't start out that way. It was closer to the low 60s earlier, hence the long sleeve shirt, but I'm already too hot. So welcome to South Florida winter. But it's kind of overcast. It's kind of gray. I was hoping for some blue skies when I shot this content, but we're gonna roll with it anyway, right? So we are progressing into Pompano, and what's going to be cool about this video is I set up a another camera to track. Well, two things. One, I got the GPS, which will be going, which is great, and then in addition to that, I've got another camera facing out the passenger side window. So as we get into some of the communities, I hope to be able to highlight that too. I don't know how great the video is going to turn out, because again, this is an experiment, but welcome to my experiment, and I think it's going to turn out great. Now, Pompano Beach is, we're in Broward County first and foremost, which is obviously separate to Palm Beach County, and Pompano Beach is an area that is being highly developed and improved. There's a ton of money that's come into this community and really started to make it a lot nicer and a lot more, a lot better place to live for families who want to live here. And there is going to be, in certain areas, more affordability in Broward than you're going to find in Palm Beach County. Typically, the schools are not as good. That does not, I don't want to sweep with a too broad of a stroke of a brush, because there are good schools that exist in Broward County. But for the most part, a lot of the areas that we're going to showcase today, the schools are below average. So, and look, you can see this brand new building, and I'm suspecting these are condos. They may be apartments. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've been down in this neck of the woods, but this is where I grew up. This is my old stomping ground. So we're gonna pass a bunch of different things that I'll point out, which are the places where I would go when I lived closer and it was geographically more desirable. Coming up soon will be the Peking Duck House, which is one of my favorites. I used to go there all the time when I was younger. But you got this Atlantic East here, which is really nice. You got all kinds of, shops, restaurants, bars, stores, law offices. There's a lot of, I was going to say sprawl, but there's a lot of commercial sprawl that exists out here. But we're on our way east. We're headed towards the beach, and coming up on our right is the Peking Duck House. Oh, I love that place. Love that place. If you go there, definitely try the Peking duck. And when we moved here, it's family owned and operated, and Kenny, who was the owner, he's since passed. Just a great family, hardworking family, and they've built that place up to, it's like an institution down here. It's been here. We were ordering Chinese food from there, the bacon fantail shrimp, when we first moved here. So that's 40 years old or more. And it's still family run. His family still owns and operates that. But you got the International Preschool on our right, and we're headed towards the beach. You've got a historic area to our left, which I will very likely drive through on the way out. But this is what it's like in the coastal community as we make our way towards the Intracoastal and then the beach. And it's really pretty. It's really nice. Lots of different subdivisions that exist. Most of them are probably going to be non-HOA or very light HOA, very less restricted. So you'll be able to, have your boat. If you choose to, you can have a boat in your backyard or side yard or front yard or whatever that is. There's a lot less restrictions in the non-HOA communities, which can be good or bad, right? So depends what you want. And we are coming up on Federal Highway. We're going to cross over that and then over the Intracoastal and check out what that looks like so that you can see it. In fact, now that I'm getting my own bearings and realizing how close we are to where when I first moved here, where I grew up, I am going to go there too. So we're going on a joyride today. We're doing big things. We're getting stuff done, and we're going to get a ton of content, which is all very valuable. So let's keep on trucking. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Inflation. So the inflation number came out last week, and I want to say it was 7.5%, which I also want to make clear that 7.5% is light. That is not the real inflation rate. There are a lot of variables that are unaccounted for in that number. That's the number that the government is telling us, or it's just not right. So if it's 7.5% on paper, it's more than that in actuality. And that begs the question, how do we curtail that inflation? And the monetary policy that exists right now, the exorbitant bond buying that's existed from the Treasury, the printing of money to the tune of trillions of dollars, is unprecedented in history, and for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So it's not exactly surprising that we've got inflation, and this goes all the way back to, yes, there's the COVID piece of this, but this goes back to when the banks were getting bailed out and the zero interest rates and all the things that they did to kick the can down the road. And now we're getting to the point where the can should not, and well, it never should have been, in my opinion, but the things that have been done to protect the market and protect the economy from the, check this out, we've got the McNabb House restoration happening. That is a historic area. And all of this area by the beach is being updated, upgraded, ton of money coming into this area. All of these municipalities want to profit from it, right? So this is some of these stores and some of these shopping centers are really old, like this one over here. And there's a Cafe Maxx to our left is incredible. So if you're in this area, Cafe Maxx is one of the places you definitely want to check out. But there's a ton of money coming in here. There's a ton of Umberto's music and dance. That place is cool too. And we're crossing the Intracoastal waterway, and this is a drawbridge. And you can see, actually, now I'm going to start this camera here. And no. Well, I'm not going to start it now because I will cause a car accident. But we are headed into Pompano Beach, and they have the seafood festival that goes on over here. They've got all kinds of cool stuff that happens. No, I don't want I have managed to mess this up. So let Let's see if I can figure this out. I do not want the camera. I do not want photos. I want... No, it's not night. Oh, I have managed to completely screw this up. All right, well, I will get back to that here shortly. But right now we are headed to the beach and to the pier, and it is really, really nice out here. On our right is Briny Irish Pub, which in a former life I used to frequent often, and if you're looking for a good time, you'll certainly find one there. That's one of the local pubs that exist, and is a local watering hole, which is a lot of fun. So I am going to park in this owner spot temporarily and figure out how to work this subject to immobilization. If you spend too much time at the Briny Pub, you also will be subject to immobilization. All right, so let's see if I can change this to a video. Let's turn it off and turn it on. Maybe that will give me the solution I'm looking for. Yeah, buddy. All right, now we're recording. And that's side view right now. But what's cool is, and I don't know if you can see it, you will. There's a lot of people out walking. You're going to see this here shortly. Skateboarding, biking, out living their best life. And this is exactly where you'd want to do it, even though it's a hazy shade of winter. All right, so to our right is the beach, and you've got a park, and you got a boardwalk, and it's super cool. There's all kinds of activities that exist out here. We're gonna make our way. Right now we are on A1A, and we are headed, where are we headed? We are headed north. And this was a little bit of a, I wasn't sure whether I was gonna come here or go straight to Lighthouse Point. This will take us into it, but I want you to see this pier that I hope you can see. But look at all the people walking, and you can see the pier in the background. You've got an incredible fishing pier. You've got all kinds of opportunities to launch a boat, experience that lifestyle. And to our left, don't jump, pal. Oh, good job. Step it down. You don't want to break a hip. But check this out. Like, this is really, really nice. There's all kinds of restaurants, bars, the pier, and there's a BurgerFi on the other side. I need another camera to get both sides of the street, but for now, this is the best I can do. But you've got an ice cream shop. You've got a... this is built up for tourists, for locals, for whatever you want. It's super nice. And there's all kinds of condos that exist over here too. A lot of them are older. There are newer buildings too that are going to be more expensive, but you're legitimately across the street from the beach. So this is a incredible place to live if that's the lifestyle that you want. And there are all kinds of homes and all kinds of different properties, condos, townhomes. All right, I got to take this offline here just for a second so you can see what I'm talking about. But as you can see, all kinds of different stuff that exists, which is super, super nice. And a lot of it's older, some of it's newer, but this lifestyle may be perfect for you. So let me zoom that. extreme close-up. But look at all the people that are just walking, enjoying the weather, and experiencing all the freedom that South Florida affords you. It's a great place to live. I'm going to keep on trucking here a little bit. Now, Lighthouse Point, the area that we're going to, and you know what? Scratch that. We are going to go to Lighthouse Point, but before that, I'm going to go into Imperial Point in Pompano Beach. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure whether it's Pompano Beach or if it's Fort Lauderdale, because it's right on the border either way. But I want to showcase that area because that's where I grew up. I know all the places that exist. You know what? I'm going to go even deeper now. I'm going to go into, and I'm definitely going to break this up because I'm all over the place and I know that. But look, these are older buildings. They're older units. Some of them are condos. Some of them are villas. Some of them are really old. Some of them are lower price points. Some of them are much more expensive. And it just gives you a glimpse of what exists out here because there's everything for every lifestyle, every budget, and we're going to showcase a lot of that today, right? Most of these are going to be condos, but there are certainly single-family homes that exist, and they're older, right? So the area that I'm going to show you where I first moved here in South Florida when I moved here from New Jersey was an incredible community. It was all young kids, lots of families. People were outside playing. I mean, when I first moved here, that day, I want to say, or no, it was the first day we moved here, one of the neighbors came over, introduced herself, and I made my first friend. Shout out to Gretchen Lesher. But yeah, she came over, knocked on the door, and was essentially like, hey, you're new, I want to be friends. And that was my experience growing up. And there were tons of family. Now, the Intracoastal is right there, and there are homes on the other side of that, condos on this side, but there are all kinds of different opportunities that exist. So the communities that we're going to, when I first moved here in Imperial Point, they were on a lot of those homes were on a canal that went to the Intracoastal. Some of them had fixed bridges. Where we lived, there was a fixed bridge. So you could only have a boat that was so tall, or you couldn't get underneath the bridge, except at low tide. And that was a mistake that my dad actually made. We ended up buying a boat at one point, and trying to time it for the tide was a major concern because if we didn't catch the low tide, there was 0% chance we were making it through that bridge, and we had lots of close calls. So, pro tip, if you are going to get a boat and you're not familiar with boating, you definitely need to take some classes to learn how to do that because my dad was self-taught, and that was a lot of fun, but also pretty freaking scary and dangerous. All right, so we're going back over the bridge, and you can go, pal. A little bit of honking, a little bit of road rage, huh? A little bit of aggression first thing in the morning. It's not exactly first thing in the morning, it's almost 10 o'clock. And then across the street, I believe that's a Houston's restaurant, which is really cool. It's right on the Intracoastal, so you got that coastal vibe. You can sit outside on the dock, you can listen to some music, have a drink, enjoy a nice meal. And there are great restaurants that exist out in this neck of the woods in coastal Broward County. All right. I'm already 20 minutes in, so I'm definitely going to break this up. But I'm going to showcase some of the schools that exist. Oh, no. Oh, no. My video. No bueno. My side camera fell. It went limp on me. No bueno. But you can see there's a Publix. There's everything. There's a Flanagan's across the street. Another local watering hole. I was much younger when I lived in this neck of the woods, so my rowdy stage of development was down here, and so I know all of the local watering holes and stuff like that. Cafe Sportivo, really cool place. You can get a authentic Cuban coffee in there and some great pastries and stuff like that. But we're going to make our way a little bit more south on Federal, and I'm going to showcase some of the places that I went to school so that you can know what that's like and what exists down here. I'm actually going to go down Bayview Drive too to show some of those. Fort Lauderdale, and that is Fort Lauderdale. They call Fort Lauderdale the Venice of, or they liken it to the Venice of America, because there are so many homes that exist that are on canals and that have water access to the Intracoastal and the ocean. And it's a really cool place to live if that's the lifestyle that you want. A lot of those homes are going to be older and, built in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. And a lot of people have questions about hurricanes and the impact that they have on the structures that exist out here. When you're on the east side of the Intracoastal, a lot of those areas are going to be flood zones. As you make your way away from that, then they stop being flood zones. But some of these areas are going to be susceptible to flooding because they're on canals. And that is a risk that exists, period. But I will say, in 40 years of living down here, I never experienced any of that. It's just a watch out to be aware of. So we're going to keep on trucking. And we're making our way north to Imperial Point so I can showcase some of those communities. Now, when I moved here, so I want to say 5 years old. And originally when I moved here, I went to McNabb Elementary. McNabb Elementary then was a below average school. Now, we didn't know any of this. But I went there, and quickly it was determined that was probably not the best school for me to be going to. And so we opted to go private, and I went to St. Colemans School. Most of the kids in the neighborhood went to, or at least the ones that I was friends with, and there were a lot of them, almost all of them went to St. Colemans School. And that was an incredible experience. It is a Catholic school. There is that element to the school. But it was the favorite of all the schools that I went to. That was my favorite school experience. The teachers were incredible. The students who went there and their families were all amazing. On our left, you can see Yacht Center, and you're going to see a lot of that, right? So this is a coastal community. There are lots of marinas that exist. You have lots of opportunities to get a slip if you want to. There are boat clubs that exist where you can buy a membership, and I hope this is recording on the other side. You'll be able to see some of that. I wonder if I can get into St. Colemans just to show what that looks like, because this was, and still is, an incredible school, an incredible church, an incredible community. They have an Italian festival there that I think I was at the first Italian festival, because I was there in like 84 or 85, and it was just great. Like at the time, nowadays the fairs are a lot more common, and having rides and stuff. Like out in Coral Springs, they have Our Town, which is an incredible fair that they host, and there's all kinds of rides. And over the years, those rides got better and better and better. But it was the first time I had seen rides like that as a kid, and it was just, it was a remarkable experience. And the food was incredible. It was just great. I wonder if seems like they got, I'm talking about the Italian festival, and I see all kinds of rides over there getting ready to be set up. I wonder if it's Italian festival time here at St. Colemans. But this school was awesome, right? And so I would ride my bike to school as I got a little bit older, and like on half days, we would, the kids would walk, a lot of kids would walk over to the McDonald's, which at the time was brand new, and that was just great. It was a great place to grow up. I still remember all of the, hell yeah! It's the Italian festival right now. I can't believe I got it on they're setting up for it. I hope you can tell I'm excited, because I really am. Can you see all this stuff? Is this recording? Okay, it is recording on the other side. I completely am not showing the homes that exist out here, but they got a Ferris wheel. They got all kinds. Yeah, baby, Italian Festival. I'm so psyched. February 18th, 19th, and 20th. All right, so I'm not going to go too deep into. So if that is a incredible thing that happens, and all of the community comes out to this. Like, this thing is very well attended. But if you look, you're going to see there are older homes that are lining the perimeter of the street, and on both the left and right side. And that's and you see a basketball hoop, lots of kids out here. Okay, let's get that straight. But you're gonna find some really older homes, and it looks like, I was gonna say, a grandpa walking his grandkid. This is what I was talking about with like the boat in the front yard. That exists out here, right? There is no HOA, so they got a camper in their front yard. There is no HOA that's going to govern the community, that's going to tell you can't do that. And you're going to find some really older homes, and then there's one right here, which I'm going to drive by, which also looks like it needs some significant help. But it's a newer home, right? And you're going to find some impressive homes, especially on the Intracoastal. Like, you can see I don't know if you can see it, but there's a boat in the backyard. It's right on the water. And so you're going to find, and this is especially true in Palm Beach County, in Boca Raton, there are areas of older communities that line, and Lighthouse Point, same thing. You're going to find older homes that are prime candidates for someone to buy and knock down and build something much more modern, newer, and seek to capitalize on the highest and best use of that waterfront, ocean access land. And you're going to see a lot of that. But there are older homes that exist that have been, look at that. You got a boat right there. That's this is and then you got a new home over here. So this is case in point, right? So you will find anything that's got water access is going to be expensive, period, end of story. But you're going to find, and we're going to see today, $5 million, $15 million, $7 million homes that exist. This one right here, look at that. But it's right on the Intracoastal. And then there's a little park over here. But this is South Florida living, coastal living at its best. Now you're going to, I don't want to hit that thing. It's going to be expensive, right? As you get away from the Intracoastal, the price points are going to drop. There are sections that are that don't have waterfront access that are going to be a lot less expensive, but relative to probably not the best time to be looking at the screen as I squeeze in between this tight spot. All right, I didn't hit anything. Congratulations, Chris. You get to pass go and collect $200. All right, so we're gonna head into Imperial Point. Guy out there cutting his lawn. What's up, pal? He did not say hi. That's okay. But yeah, this is what it is, right? So you're going to see a lot of older homes that are great. You're going to see a lot of newer homes that are also great, so a lot of these older homes are older individuals that I suspect are going to age out, and I suspect maybe open to an offer. So because a property is not for sale does not necessarily mean that we can't unlock that inventory if we know where you want to live. So there's always a solution once we know what type of lifestyle it is that you want, what type of where you want to live. We can reverse engineer how to unlock the inventory if in fact inventory remains tight. And so I remember when this car wash opened, it was a big deal to me. And now we are going to, now I could take this road back. I'm not going to, because it's not as pretty, but that road, and I think this is what, McNabb Road? Yeah, McNabb Road. This will take you to McNabb Elementary, which is on the right. Not a great school. It will also take you to the Cypress Nook restaurant, which, the police. I did not do it. I dodged that one. But yeah, so they will, I'm going to turn this one off. Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn that off for now. But, so there are the Cypress Nook restaurants over there. We used to ride our bikes to that in the morning and eat breakfast there. It's one of the best breakfast spots that you will find anywhere. And it's a German family that started it and still runs it, owns it, operates it. I believe the owner's name is Helen, and every time I go in there, I still see her. Her family now runs it too, and she always recognizes my mom and recognizes me and asks about my mom, and so I've been meaning to take my mom out there to breakfast. But we're a good 45 minutes to it. Nah, it's more than that. Probably an hour away with traffic from where I live now. But these are the coastal communities that exist in Fort Lauderdale. Now we're entering Fort Lauderdale now, so we're in Fort Lauderdale. Woo-wee. All right, we're gonna keep on going. You got Broward Health, Imperial Point Hospital. That is where I got my arm casted when I broke my wrist back in the day. Falling out of a tree in a neighbor's yard that was that was in my neighborhood. All right, so we are making a right onto 62nd. If we made a left, it would be Bayview Drive. The Publix there is where we used to shop. There used to be an Outback there. And here we go. We're in Imperial Point. So these homes are older, and this community is really nice. I'm actually going to show you the home that I lived in when I first moved here. And so the school system, right? So I went to Sunrise, and then, or not Sunrise. I went to McNabb Elementary. Then I went to St. Coleman School, and that goes up to 8th grade. In 7th grade, I went out to Nova University, which was a disaster. I did not enjoy that experience whatsoever, but it's what happened, and that was like a hour-long bus ride out to that private school, and I did not like that experience at all. Arguably, it was a better academic program. I don't believe that to be true, but that's what my parents thought at the time, hence I went there. But when most of the kids from St. Coleman's graduated, they went to Cardinal Gibbons, and we then moved to Coral Springs and then Parkland, so I went to Ramblewood for 8th grade, which at the time was a National School of Excellence, and now it's not. It's, I want to say, rated 2. It is below average. But Coral Springs at that time was the hot spot. Did I miss the turn? I did miss the turn. I'm already here. So I'm going to show you Pinecrest School. I'm going to turn this camera on. Hopefully get So Pinecrest School is an incredible education, private education, super expensive. It is, I would describe it as Ivy League as it gets down here as far as academics are concerned. It is also, they have a summer camp, which is incredible. I used to go there for day camp during the summer, and then I went to tennis camp there, which was incredible. And again, when I moved here, it was like 84, 85. Chris Evert, who everybody I hope knows is was like the top female player in the world at that point, or had just been. Her sister was one of the counselors at Pinecrest tennis camp, and I remember I was a little kid. I would walk to, it's close enough to where I would actually walk to tennis camp. I'd actually run there because I was always a lunatic about training. But I'd run to the tennis camp, and it's hot. Like at the end of tennis camp, you are fried. I was sunburned. I was overheated, all those things. And one day she gave me a ride home because she saw me walking, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So shout out to Chris Evert and her sister, whose name I don't remember. But this is Pinecrest Preparatory School, and it is a lot bigger than when I originally went here. Wayne Huizinga, I know he's since passed, but he was a major donor to the school, and this is one of the best educations that you will get. There's also a campus in Boca, which is also incredible. In fact, I think I read recently that Barron Trump may be going there in Boca. I don't know, but it definitely got some press. But this is these are the schools that exist if you live in these areas, and they are great. You can't really see much because it's all gated and fenced in and very private. It didn't used to be so much the case, but it's incredible. I'm going to loop back around because there's not much to see once you pass that. Can I go past this thing and not be on the train tracks? I believe I can. Well, that's good. Because there is one fun fact you must know. If you stop on, I'm going to stop this camera. If you stop on a train track and a train is coming, you are done. But all right, so I'm going to make a U-turn. I'm going to go back into that community, and then I'm going to take that down Bayview Drive and show you a really cool coastal area that has intercoastal access, has ocean access, and some of the happening spots that exist down there by the beach. And then I'll loop this around. So I'm definitely going to truncate this video so it's not 4 hours. But it's going to be a lot of content that is produced today. So my commitment to you remains intact. I will continue to. Now, this public storage that's here now used to be a restaurant that was all comprised of trains, sections of trains. It was so cool, but they got bought out like everybody else seems to do, and now the highest and best use of that land is a storage facility. And that's what happens, right? So a lot of the land that exists, because again, I know I've talked about this in lots of videos, it's scarce. Now look at these homes. A lot of these homes are not nice, like relative to what we've seen in Palm Beach County. They're older, you know, it's a different price point. Doesn't make it good or bad, just makes it, I'm just calling it like I see it. So Coral Ridge Isles, you're gonna find, now this is the perimeter of the street, so these homes are what they are. As you go in there, you're gonna find some nicer homes that exist. But this is an older area of Fort Lauderdale. And it was great when I grew up here, and since then it's kind of it's become overpopulated and it's become older. So maybe that's what you want, maybe it's not. But there's always going to be something for every price point, and every lifestyle that you want to So we're gonna head back into Fort Lauderdale, and I am going to, so right now we're headed east and we're crossing 18th Avenue, and it's great. So what exists out here for families? There's lots of parks, right? You can see the sign for Imperial Point. We are entering Imperial Point. But yeah, so there, when I grew up here, I played soccer at Bayview Park. That's where we would practice. And shout out to Coach Ledbetter, if you're watching. I remember he was a powerhouse realtor back in the day. I suspect he probably still is. But yeah, he was my coach. I'll never forget him. And a great coach. And a great family. All right. So I'm now going to turn this camera back on and hopefully straighten out that perspective. So yeah, I am in my old neighborhood, and I will tell you, it feels a lot smaller than I remember. But lots of nice folks live here. It was a great place to grow up, and a lot of these houses have been improved over time. Wow, I'm getting nostalgic here. These speed bumps did not exist when I grew up here, but I remember like the Smiths used to live on this corner. I don't think they still live there, but they might. I suspect they don't. Oh man, we're going back. Thank you. The Nanzas lived in that house. The Brants lived in that house. And away we go. Now, the druggies lived in that house. They were constantly partying and always whacked out of their mind. I don't remember their names, but I was scared of that house and the people that were there. The house in the corner, that's my first job. I door knocked the neighborhood and asked if anybody had an odd job for me to do. And Miss Fertig, shout out to Miss Fertig. The Leschers lived here, and I think they probably still do. I think Miss Lesher still lives there. I don't know. But man, this is a lot smaller than I remember. The Says lived there, the Kunkles lived there, and oh my gosh, this is different. That house in the corner is where I grew up. And we rented this house in front of us first, and then my dad made an offer to the neighbor next door, Carmen, and we ended up buying that house. But it's crazy how your memory works, right? Because that house, the front yard of that house to me at the time seemed like the biggest front yard ever. We had orange trees, we had grapefruit trees, we had all kinds of citrus trees that existed in the front of that house, and the backyard was even bigger. So we had a lot of it was a massive backyard. I want to say it was like 3/4 of an acre, if memory serves me correct, and it was just a great place. I mean, we would play soccer and football and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so let's see here. I'm gonna take us through the community a little bit so you can see what that looks like. And then I'm going to spit us back out on 62nd / Bayview Drive and show you a little bit of the homes that exist there, and then take you to the beach so you can check that out. But yeah, it's kind of shocking going back and seeing that house because the yard seems so much smaller than what I remember. But if you look at this house desperately needs work. The roof is shot. And right now, everybody who owns a home in Florida is at minimum thinking about selling. Whether they'll ever do that or not remains to be seen, but they're thinking about it. So if this is an area that you want to live in, just know that there are plenty of ways that we can connect with off-market properties and people who are thinking about selling and creating an opportunity if that's something that you are interested in. So just because there's not a lot of inventory for sale right now, and maybe never will be, I don't know. I hope it is, but just know that we are really good at finding what you want, irrespective of what the market conditions are. All right. I think I started a subject before and didn't finish it as I was talking about inflation and the impact that that's going to have. All right, so inflation, the elephant in the room, 7.5%, which is underrepresented. I don't believe that's the real number by any stretch of the imagination. But what is that? What does that mean, and what impact is that going to have over time? So let's play both. I'm going to turn the other camera off so I can save the battery and the memory and keep on trucking. So what does that mean? Okay, well, it means the cost of goods and services went up. Great. It also means that the values of real estate, well, separate to that, it also is true, factually true, given supply and demand, that home values are continuing to appreciate. And will they continue at the clip that they're on? I don't know. I personally hope not, but I think a 5-year projection by recent analysts have it at 5 years from now, the annualized rate of return on that over the 5-year period is 23%. Okay. 23% appreciation. And we know that inflation is going higher. And we know that all of the stimulus and games and bond buying and games that have been played economically and fiscally have created an environment where we have artificially low interest rates. And mind you, even at 4% interest rates, which is what we've upticked to from 3.55, so it's still in that 4% range, plus or minus. It's still historically low, period. So 4% is historically low, 5% historically low, 6% historically low. But it's not 2%, which is where it was not that long ago. So what does that mean? Okay, well, if, and I'll play both sides of the equation here, if you don't buy a house now because you believe that the market, I have to turn this camera back on. Bayview Drive, I always thought was the coolest strip when I was growing up of homes that exist out here in this area. Most of them are on canals, and I'm really curious to see. There was they changed it. There was a house that it reminded me of the White House. Again, I was a kid. I was 5 years old, so yeah, they changed it. It used to have this really colonial look, and you can see it right there, the big columns. Obviously, they are doing something to it, but they're changing the way it looked. And it used to be like the coolest. I thought that was the coolest house. But now we're entering the landings, and I'm going to turn down one of these streets to just give you an idea of what some of these homes look like that are on the Intracoastal or have Intracoastal access. They will not, some of them will have no fixed bridges. So if you wanted to have a big boat / yacht in your backyard, that is something that you could do. And look, all these people are, Mr. Handyman is out there doing handyman things. These are the coastal homes that, or the waterfront homes that exist out here, that give you the ability to max out that lifestyle. Like this home here is going to be quite expensive. And as we get into Lighthouse Point, you're going to see a lot more of this, where you've got these incredible homes that are, 3, 5, 7, 15, 20 million, especially as we get into Boca. They are really, really nice. And this one is sick. But they're brand new, right? So, and look at this. This is right on the Intracoastal. And this is modern. It is fresh. It is current. Like, these are all going to be pricey. But, relative to across the street where we just were, there's going to be a big price improvement if that's what you want. So really, really cool, really, really nice. And this is going to be more of that marine, aquatic, oceanfront, coastal lifestyle that this community affords you, which is great. And you're going to find something similar to this. Actually, it'll be nicer in Boca. You're going to see something similar to this in Lighthouse Point. But obviously, you're not going to see this in like West Del Rey or West Boynton or Wellington. It's going to be a different lifestyle. It's going to be a different feel. So, no matter what lifestyle you want, it exists. All right, let me see if I can. Well, that wasn't helpful. All right. Okay, so we are making our way to the beach. And I'm not going to turn down all these communities. They're all very similar, and there's a lot of this on either side. So if you want a boat in your backyard, if you want no fixed bridges, if you want to live that lifestyle, this is a great choice. I'm going to showcase something similar to this, or an approximate version of this, in Lighthouse Point as well as Boca Raton. And also know that this goes up, any city that is that has a coastal community is going to have something similar to this in all those areas, because people want to max out that lifestyle. Now, also, you can't see it in the background, is Westminster Church as well as school. That's another great private school that a lot of kids from the neighborhood went to that did not go public. And there's a big drop-off in quality of education from public to private in these areas. So most of the people who live in these homes are affluent, and most of them, not all, most of them will opt for a private education for their kids. And if I lived here, I would absolutely do the same thing. But all right, let's keep on trucking. Now we're really getting into some of the, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm having a blast. So I hope you're enjoying this content, because this is a fun trip down memory lane for me. And I hope that transmits over the video, because this is great. So again, all of these, I don't want to say all, but most of the communities, most of the condos or apartments that exist over there have slips and dock space for the residents who live there. All right, pay attention to the road, Chris. Oh yeah, pushing the envelope. So you got the scuba network there, Zuccarello's on our left, and orthodontics, or Umberto's. Now okay, we'll pass it on the way back. Pomperdale, New York Deli. Pomperdale, New York Deli is the best deli around, period, bar none. Now, there are lots of other good delis that exist, and I've talked about them before. They all pale in comparison to that place. So the pastrami there, incredible. You got a Benihana's here. You got a Blue Moon Fish Company on the other side. Both great restaurants. But that Pomperdale Deli is the best. And I've eaten in, was it Katz Deli in New York? Oh gosh, there's a big one in Manhattan that I'm trying to think of, and I can't think of it. It might have been Katz, but I don't recall. It's equal to, if not better. LaSpadas Hoagies. Oh my gosh, this is great. LaSpadas Hoagies. Oh man, I'm starving now. Incredible. Some of the best hoagies you're going to find. And yes, it is also factually true. There is one in Boca. At least there was pre-COVID. I haven't been there recently, so I'm assuming it's still there. I don't know if it survived. But all kinds of cool stuff on either side of the street. You got a bakery, cigar shop, you've got taco craft over there. You got all kinds of different cool places that exist. And we're literally steps from the beach. So A1A is right in front of me, and then we are here at the beach. Now, this is not the Fort Lauderdale Strip. If we kept going down A1A, it would take us into the heart of downtown Fort Lauderdale, and there's all kinds of communities out there. I've done content there already, so you can check the playlist down below to see what that is, to experience what that's like. But if I do that, then I'm going to be, I mean, this is already over an hour or close to an hour long, and I don't want to make this too much longer because it's a lot. And I appreciate you watching, and I hope you do find it valuable, because this is the immersion experience for living in this neck of the woods in Fort Lauderdale and Imperial Point. And we're going to make our way from here, and I'll edit this video, but we're going to go to Lighthouse Point next, and then into Boca Raton. So be on the lookouts for those videos. I am going to... Okay, so now we are headed to the beach. And this ice cream shop here, which is now a Gelato Go, I'm sure it's changed over the years, but that's where you've got a fishing pier in front of us that has a restaurant. I used to watch the sunrise with my dad. Hello, officers. Aruba Beach Cafe's been there forever. That's a really cool place to go to. And like, there's all kinds of happy hour out here, and you can see all the people just loving it. 101 Ocean looks like it's closed. That was a great spot. Maybe they're just not open yet. That's probably it. Yeah, they're just not open yet. But look at all this. This is a happening spot, and this, if you think this is happening, it pales in comparison to what would be going on in, let's call it Delray Beach, or Fort Lauderdale, Las Olas. Like, this would be light compared to those two areas, but it's still super nice, and you can see it's heavily attended. All right, on our way back, I can show you Pomperdale. I'm so excited about this place, and this seems, so it's 10:30. I have not eaten breakfast yet, so it seems like that would be a good spot for me to stop this video and grab myself a sandwich, which I will not eat until I get home, because the pro tip, if you are going to eat there, don't make any big plans for the afternoon, because you're going to probably feel quite lethargic. So I'm not going to eat any of that food until it's eating time. But I do want to showcase it, and I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. But you'll see, like, this is older, retail space. It's older commercial space. It's older homes. You're gonna find some nice ones. You're gonna find some new ones. They're gonna be super expensive, but it's a great place to live. It's a great place to max out South Florida living to its fullest. There's gonna be all kinds of families that exist that are looking to share that same experience too. So it's gonna be exactly what you want if it's the lifestyle that you're looking for. But you're not going to have the resort style amenities or any of those kind of things that exist in different areas that I've highlighted lots of content on, or like where I live now. And so there's pros and cons of both, right? So maybe you want those amenities, maybe you want those better public schools, maybe you but maybe you want maybe you want more of a rural feel. Oh yeah, Pomperdale, come on, baby. You're gonna have to stop at the stop sign. All right, so evidently I'm not the only one who knows about how good Pomperdale is based on this traffic, but there's all kinds of medical spas, there's all kinds of doctors, there's all kinds of specialists. There is obviously an elderly population that exists here, and all of the services that you would want are here. So really, if you want to max out, and like these condos in here are, you know, they're right on the Intracoastal. I remember selling one in there maybe when I first got into real estate, but like they're all over the place. So you've got every price point, every type of property, every opportunity to max out South Florida living at its fullest, and we are always here to help you. So what I'm going to do is watch my next video, which will showcase what living in Fort Lauderdale is like. I will attach that up here, and I'll see you on the next video. Be on the lookout for the tour of Lighthouse Point and the tour of Boca Raton, because they're coming up soon too. And until next time, peace!